You may have seen the exchange that took place between the member of Congress and Wall Street banking committees about someone that's leaving Congress to go and work for them, and they all sort of laugh about it. What's fascinating about this clip is it reveals how deep those relationships are, and even provides us an insight into what went down after the 2008 crash, when we were told everything possible was being done to ensure nothing like that ever happened again, that it was a disgrace, it was a con, it was a crime for which no one was prosecuted, and no one has yet been prosecuted, by the way. And to ensure that wouldn't happen, lots of committees were taking place, lots of investigations were taking place, people were being employed. Wait till you hear what they actually did after 2008. You won't believe it. Well, you will believe it because you tell us all the time in the chat and the comments just how the system works. But this is a fantastic example. Hello there, you 5.9 million awakening wonders. Thank you for joining me on this voyage towards truth, a journey we can only undertake together. Do you know you can watch these videos first on Rumble? We do a 1 hour long live stream every single day. It's fantastic. Have a look there to see which time it is in your region. As well as these videos, we take deeper dives into all sorts of stories, and it's a lot of fun, and we have fantastic guests, the kind of guests that you are gonna wanna see. Now, let's get into this story. You've long known that there's a revolving door between Wall Street and Congress. You know because we've told you, you've told us, we tell each other that people in Congress own stocks and shares in the companies that they regulate. You know about the lobbying money that provides the mulch that makes the swamp that Trump said he was going to drain, but I don't know if he drained it. Well, surely you will have seen this week that a member of Congress was openly bragging about a staffer going to join Wall Street. They laugh about it. They laugh out loud about it. Let's have a look in more detail. During a bank oversight hearing this week, Republican Representative Trey Hollingsworth boasted that one of his staffers would soon be leaving Congress to work on Wall Street, offering a glimpse of the legalized corruption that permeates the highest levels of the US political system. She's very, very excited, said Hollingsworth, whose past campaigns were funded heavily by the finance and investment industries. Hollingsworth is worth about $75 million, making him the 9th richest member of Congress. Let's have a look at the moment that it happened so we can judge for ourselves whether it's the way that you want America to be run or not.
The gentleman from Indiana, Mr. Hollingsworth, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
What are they doing there? Like, if you're talking about any kind of regulation or oversight, you're going to have to watch JP Morgan, Citibank and Bank of America. Right, let's get some fairness and justice and proper regulation into the banking industry. Who are we going to need? Well, JP Morgan. What kind of party could we have without him? They're the last people you want involved in this situation. At this point, the idea that our current systems could ever bring about meaningful change in your life is risible. Think about the number of gatekeepers. Think about the number of checks. Think about the systemic corruption, how deeply embedded it is. What's fascinating about this video is you get to see that it's just conversational, colloquial, humorous. It's not like, oh my God, there's this shameful thing where democracy's a joke. It's just accepted, ordinary, normal. When we're thinking about the kind of changes that are required, you can see now in real time the sort of regulations that need to be implemented. Don't have major banks involved in financial regulation. Of course, their expertise when it comes to the, I don't know, the nitty-gritty of the world of finance could be helpful. In the same way, if we were talking about energy, you'd want to know about people that were used to dealing with energy, or if you were dealing with any area of expertise, there has to be consultancy. But that consultancy cannot be about the creating systems that prevent proper regulation. Think how multivalent the problem is. The people in Congress own stocks and shares. They're going to go and work for organisations they're supposed to regulate. They're lobbied by those organisations. Now, this thing is generations deep already. It's so sort of creaking and cracked and accreted. It's like a deep coral reef of corruption.
Well, good afternoon. I'm excited to be here with each of you. Before I get started on my questions, Mr. Moynihan, I wanted to let you know, Saruthi, raise your hand, Saruthi. She has been my team member for a couple of years now, but on Monday, she becomes a Bank of America team member, about which she is very, very excited. So I hope you'll take good care of her and know and recognize the talent that she has shown already in our office. I'm sure she'll do the same at Bank of America.
We will do that, and her father already works for us, so he'll take care of it.
You should have called us.
Oh, God. Just remember that it's not that long ago that the financial industry, and I'm not suggesting that it directly correlates to any of the individuals in this video, but the financial industry more broadly brought America to its knees, created a recession not seen since the 1930s. People lost their homes. Born out of it was the Occupy movement and new forms of populism that are hated by the Democrat establishment, all emerged out of financial corruption and reactions to financial corruption. We're at the point where it's kind of just joked about. And what I don't like about this also is the kind of piety when talking about cultural issues. Don't say that. Don't use those words. We're trying to create a better America. All of the sort of posturing and virtue signaling, that is the real face of American politics. That's what it looks like. People having a laugh. Now, I'm not suggesting they're horrible people. Mr. Hollingsworth, I bet he's all right. And I bet the people that work at Citibank, they're all right. They're all just human beings. They were once a sperm and an ovum, and they're a human being, and they've got nephews and nieces, and they're all, they all work at the same bank, evidently. But that is not a system for fair government, something that has inbuilt nepotism, revolving doors, jobs for the boys, jobs for the girls, jobs for the appropriate people. And if it is just that, just tell us that this is what it is. Don't pretend like make people get out of bed every 4 years and send in a postal valet. Oh, there we go. There, take that, Donald Trump. There, Joe Biden. That shows you. It's just a leaf floating in the breeze. It's irrelevant. Don't get all caught up and het up about any of that stuff. Election doesn't matter. You're going to end up with these kind of conversations. Do you think that there's a single political figure today that would stop that exchange happening? There isn't, because it would be written in a manifesto. It would say, you will not be able to work in Wall Street if you have had a job anywhere in Congress. No one in Congress can receive funding from these companies. Banks will be regulated by people that are completely independent and outside of the banking industry. Who's got those policies? Who are? Show me, because I don't know much about this stuff, so it's quite possible I'm wrong. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments, because I want to learn more. At the moment, I think this is so deeply systemic that no sort of charismatic figure from either side, whether it's someone slick and charming like Obama or bombastic and funny like Trump, I don't think anyone's going to come out of that system. We did a video the other day. Obama bought in the Stock Act. Thank you, Obama. And then a year later, Obama repealed it. Damn you, Obama. And then a few years later, Biden says, we beat you, Big Pharma.
We beat Pharma this year.
He's taken more money from Big Pharma than anyone else. They have to be outside of it. It has to be, actually, and this is the heartening thing, us. It has to be you. You have to go, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to run my community differently? How are we going to form alliances that are cohesive enough to confront this kind of hegemony?
Well, good. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to chat about some of these issues today.
Do you think there's any bit of him now, or the bit where he's gone, oh, no, I appreciate the opportunity, he's gone, oh shit, this looks like we're all mates and I couldn't possibly regulate these people because we're all working for one another and we operate in this kind of... That's theatre. Like when you see those sort of things, like you used to see in JFK and like when they're talking to the mob or Jimmy Hoffa, this stuff's meant to be legit, right? Or is it all just theatre? Don't they all have the same kind of interests, really? Don't they all own shares in similar interests? I don't know. You tell me in the chat below if you think that stuff's going to lead to... Oh, and then on Wednesday, my mortgage repayments were sorted out. And on Friday, we got a job that was meaningful and valuable. And then on Thursday, all of the food that we were eating improved in quality. Then Friday, our marriage was better. And then on Saturday, I felt that there was some spiritual value and meaning in my life, and that we were able to accept that people were different and had different value systems, but could kind of get along. It all came out of that room where people were going, ha, Sarah starts on Monday. Look after her. We've already got a father at the... Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I've got a newborn baby. Can that have a job? Yeah, fucking throw it over here. We'll give this guy a job. So, stick it over there. It could be a bank clerk. We don't open the banks anymore. I don't know. We'll just put it by the ATM. I really enjoy this guy's videos. He's brilliant, isn't he? But wouldn't you like even more of him? As you know, we are streaming every day on Rumble at these times. Now, if you are a fan of our podcast, Under the Skin, you've got to become a member of Stay Free AF. That is our community where you get even more fantastic content as a member. We're creating more free content than ever and better paid for content than you could ever imagine. We've already done interviews with Vandana Shiva, Wim Hof, Gabor Mate, Noam Chomsky. Coming up, we're going to be speaking to Donald, Bernie, Elon. I'll give you the surnames once we confirm the interviews. All of these interviews will be available on Stay Free AF, as well as my stand-up special that's going to drop in December, our community film, and opportunities to join me for live events regularly throughout the year. Stay free as fuck. There's a link below to join.
I appreciate the opportunity to chat about some of these issues today. What I'm really interested in is the state of the economy.
Actually, I'm the state of the economy. That's why I come here. I get up every morning with my $75 million and my family that all work at various Wall Street banks. What is the state of the economy so I can continue to steal from it? I don't want to sound like a mad conspiracy theorist. Neither do I want to sound reductive and naive. I'm simply saying that exchange demonstrates to you the true nature of congressional politics and its relationship with the financial industry. I don't think they're all sort of lined up being pals, having a barbecue, doing cans or whatever. I'm saying simply that that's a sort of a glimpse at the reality of the system that they work very hard to pretend is all about sort of merit and hard work and stuff you don't understand. And we had no choice but to do the quantitative easing package. I mean, you wouldn't understand. You're too stupid. You're too stupid to understand what really went on in 2008. Oh, really? Because what it seemed like is that people done a bunch of deals and stuff that they knew was going to go tits up, but they did it anyway, and then no one suffered for it, and all those people got rich, and then you sort of meted out all of the losses across normal people. No. Oh, because what it looks like is they're all mates, and they know each other, and like that woman and her dad all work for the bank, and the bank is funding that geezer's campaign, and so that geezer don't regulate the bank's problem. No, it's not that. You're not using the right type of words. Oh, yeah, no, I must be too stupid. We all got things like that in our own lives. None of us are perfect. We've all done stuff. We're all doing things. Like, you're all on a journey trying to improve as individuals. But what I'm saying is the systems that we live within are accentuating our lower nature, let's call it greed, selfishness, you know what I mean, Sesame Street stuff, instead of kindness, compassion, selflessness. So what kind of life are we going to end up with if all of the power is centralised around people that are running on their lowest possible motives? Not saying Mike Hollingsworth is bad or the head of JP Morgan or whatever. I don't know them. I bet they're all right. I bet if you met them somewhere and chatted, they're all right. But the systems are broken. The exchange offered a rare on-camera look at the revolving door between Congress and the financial industry, as well as the remarkably cosy relationship between lawmakers on the House Financial Services Committee and big banks. Like, we talk to you all the time about this. There are people regulating industries that they directly benefit from. How can that happen? How can they reliably be asked to regulate that? The revolving door between committees that oversee the nation's banks spins particularly fast. Many lawmakers and aides involved in crafting and watering down Wall Street regulations in the wake of the 2008 financial crash went on to take jobs at large financial institutions. You remember at the time they went, oh, it's ever so bad this has happened. We're going to bail out the banks and we're going to teach them a lesson. Don't worry, it'll never happen again. They created regulations and they watered down those regulations, and then they went on, like old laughing boys, mate, to get jobs in the financial industry. Oh, it's so complicated, but I can't understand that. It's sort of, I suppose to a layman like me, it sounds like you gave them really shady, easy regulations and then they gave you jobs. And if you'd have served the American people instead of serving the financial industry, you'd have gone, these lot should all go to jail. These people should be bailed out instead of those banks. Here's how we'll ensure that never happens again. We'll look into all the people who got massive bonuses during that time. We're going to take all those bonuses back. We're going to take this value off of these banks. We're going to return that to the economy. We're going to nationalise these into all of these kind of things. Didn't happen. And to reward them for not doing that, they gave them jobs. That's like trusting your right hand to stop your left hand from masturbating. Public Citizen estimate that in the midst of the economic crisis, the financial services industry deployed more than 1,400 former federal employees, including ex-committee staffers, to lobby Congress on banking issues. So far in 2022, commercial banks have spent over $30 million lobbying Congress, 61% to Republicans and 39% to Democrats. Perhaps you're a person who prefers the left side of the congressional system and you think, oh, well, that was a Republican person. But 61% of the $30 million spent lobbying Congress was spent on Republicans and 39% to Democrats. 60-40 split. It's not that in your country, but it's not clear enough, is it? In October 2021, Democrats scaled back plans for a crackdown on tax cheating, bowing to an aggressive lobbying campaign by the banking industry. That's another thing, isn't it? That we see them do these great ceremonies of, the Stock Act, or we're going to make sure that never happens. Out front, there's patriotism, jingoism, fist pumping and fist bumping. This is for the American people. Then just a bit later, we're not going to do that anymore. We're like children. We're bewildered. Unless we stay awake and stay conscious, we'll continually be subject to this kind of regulation and legislation. There'll be a bit where they say they're doing something about it. We beat Big Pharma this year. Okay, Big Pharma. Great. Crack on, lads! Unless you stay awake and stay alert, the system will continue to reassert itself. They can handle 5 years of going, oh, sorry about that banking crash, or sorry about this big pharma exploitative profits. They know that a lot of people are thinking, bloody hell, they made a lot of money over at Pfizer during that pandemic. Same as in the banking crash. Wow, all of those banks and stuff, they did rather well out of this, and then they all just got bailed out. Yeah, but in a while, we'll forget. 75 years when the files are released, we'll have forgotten by then. So you have an obligation to first of all accept that corruption and accept your own responsibility to stay awake and stay responsible. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and the chat below. If you enjoyed this video, have a look at either of these. Remember to sign up to my mailing list, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell in case the algorithm is against us. More important than any of that though, please stay free.